Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson, and I asked on Snapchat last night for an idea on a topic that you want to see me do on a video. Pretty much all of you wanted to see a reaction to the Jose Mourinho press conference, so there's the reaction to it. Now, the Jose Mourinho era is now officially here. Don't understand why he wasn't smiling. Not sure what all that was about. I'm not sure if he's trying to play it uber cool because he didn't look unhappy, didn't sound unhappy to be there. He sounded extremely prepared, didn't he? He knew all the questions that he was about to be faced. He answered all the questions. He seemed like quite relaxed. He was laughing and joking at times. He managed to get a jab in at pretty much every single person, from Guardiola to Wenger and even maybe Louis van Gaal a little bit with his use of the word philosophy, which I don't think Mourinho's ever said in his life before. So it was interesting to see. I was expecting more fireworks. I was expecting something a bit more interesting, but it just seemed like Mourinho was completely chilled out, very well prepared for it. Obviously, he almost brought up some things that he wanted to talk about instead of waiting to be asked for it. The reporters that was there was tossing him the softest balls, asking him the questions that you just completely expect to be asked. Press conference is such a weird thing, and the way Manchester United conducts them, especially with Karen Shotball sat there basically just batting people down, that press conference could have gone on for 2 hours. I think they cut it a little bit short. I don't know why they only left it to half an hour. It was just about getting interesting when they wanted to call it a day, didn't they? So what did we learn from the press conference? Now, everyone's focusing on the fact that Jose Mourinho said there is a fourth player. What he actually said was there's 4 positions that we've identified, which still leaves the door open for that Hervin Lozano, the Mexican kid, to come in, because he's still that attacking winger sort of position, the same as Mkhitaryan. Everyone's diving all over the fact that Paddy Crerand, while he was there, basically let the cat out of the bag that Pogba is going to be the 4th signing, the big signing. And I want to pull the reins back a little bit on it. I want to be relaxed, and I want to try and be sensible about it and say, look, we're in the Europa League. Why would he come to us? Does he still harbour any sort of resentment at the club for what happened when he left? There's a ton of reasons why it shouldn't happen, but there's also beginning to appear like there's a lot of reasons why it should and could happen. And that worries me, because I don't want to get excited. It doesn't worry me. It's just, I don't want to get carried away, and I don't want to get excited, because I think Paul Pogba, if he did come, would be literally the final piece of a jigsaw that sees Manchester United capable of competing at home and in Europe. Now, we've got no opportunity to test ourselves against the best of Europe. We're on the Thursday night bus, aren't we? So we're not going to get this opportunity to see that, but we will get the opportunity to see it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Premier League shapes up this season. Jose Mourinho knows the Premier League. Jose Mourinho knows Manchester United. I think he knows us quite well. I think he's watched us a lot, and I think he's watched us for the last 6 months, because I'm pretty sure he knew he was getting this job at least 6 months ago when we saw him out at Dortmund scouting who we now know to be Mkhitaryan. Everyone assumed it was Aubameyang back in the day, but it was Mkhitaryan. So we've got a manager that knows the league, knows how to win the league. He's gone in and he's identified and solved a couple of the problems that we have already. Now, as Pogba and Matuidi seem to be both in negotiation, I think Matuidi's the backup in case Pogba doesn't come through. But I think we are actually chasing Paul Pogba. I think you can definitely say we are at least trying to make Paul Pogba happen. Whether that means that it comes off, I guess we'll find out at the end of the transfer window whether we were successful or not. But I do think we're prepared. I think Juventus are a selling club. I think they're a club that, if you look at their signings, all their signings are free transfers. So I think they've got cash flow issues. So I think if you can drop 100 million on them, there's not many clubs in the world that can say no to that. Even Manchester United didn't say no to a world record fee, and we didn't need the money with Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think if you drop a world record fee on their toes and just leave it there, I think at some point they'll take it, because there's always risks involved in transfers, and there's always risks in turning down sums of that money. What if Paul Pogba was going to go and break his leg and never play football again? That's a possibility, and you just turned 100 million down for him. Doesn't happen often, but that is a possibility, and I'm sure there's people, risk analysts and stuff like that at football clubs, that say that sort of thing. When someone offers you crazy sums of money, you do that. You get rid of the player. So, will we sign Paul Pogba? Honestly, I don't know. I started off this summer at 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10, thinking it was likely to happen. I'm moving up towards 3 and 4 out of 10 now, because I actually see us trying to make it happen. If someone's trying to make it happen, the chances of it happening go up, don't they? So that's that, really. I mean, the press conference itself, nothing groundbreaking from it. The pictures were strange where he wasn't smiling. I do admit there was a bit strange in how they were smiling. I find it very interesting that now he's come out and did an interview with MUTV last night where he said he's going to be looking at some of the youngsters for this first friendly, which is next Saturday, the 16th of July, against Wigan. And he's mentioned that he's going to be taking Axel Tuanzebe and Tyrell Warren. Didn't mention Roshan Williams. I put on Twitter last night I'd said Roshan Williams. I didn't see the interview live. I just got a million tweets off people like, oh, he's saying this, so I took it from that. But it looks like he did say Warren and Tuanzebe. Now, I put Williams ahead of Warren just for his experience in the under-21s. He played more games than any of them in the under-21s last year. Tuanzebe was injured for quite a lot of the year for an insane amount of time, actually. He was out for... when did I speak to him? I think I spoke to Tuanzebe around January or February, and he said he was 2 weeks back from fitness, and he didn't really come back until May, or the very, very end of April. So I'm not sure what it was that was wrong with him, but it did take him a lot longer than he expected to come back. This is awesome news for both of these lads to be given the opportunity, because Tuanzebe was the first of the youngsters, the first of like the under-18s that Louis van Gaal named on the bench last season, and he didn't get on. And then he got injured, and then we didn't see him basically until the end of the season. So I think this is an excellent opportunity for Tuanzebe to make up the ground that he probably lost while he was injured, and let the first team and the public really see what he's about, because he's a fucking brilliant footballer. And a technical footballer, aggressive, composed. He's a wonderful defender, and I see a big, big future for him. He's just declared his eligibility for England, which is fantastic news for the English national team. All three of them, Roshan, Tyrell and Tuanzebe, all English, all centre-half, 17 and 18, all of them. It's a nightmare for all three of them, because all three of them can't be successful at Manchester United at the same time, unless we play three at the back, and in which case the chances of it being them three that all make it are slim, aren't they? So I don't know what you do for the best of these lads, because I'd love to see all three of them come through. I love the way all three of them play football, and all three of them play completely different style of football. Roshan reminds me a lot of a quick version of Rio Ferdinand, and quick is an understatement. Roshan Williams has got the Greater Manchester under-16s 100-metre record. He broke it from Darren Campbell, an Olympic sprinter. He's faster than an Olympic sprinter. What? So quick is an understatement. And because he's quick, he takes risks. And those risks generally come off, because he can always get back. You're not going to beat an offside trap with him, are you? Because he's going to get back. There's not a striker in the world that's going to have more pace than him. So it's interesting to see how he develops. And he doesn't shut up. He does not shut up. He's got that proper Mancunian just gobshiteness about him. But he's just constantly encouraging, constantly congratulating, constantly G'ing up the team. And I fucking love that. From a 17-year-old playing under-21s with first-team players in the side around him. And he's G'ing up. The guy on the far right-hand side of the pitch does something and he's shouting at him. He can't fucking hear him. He's still shouting. And that's just, it's inherent in him. You can't teach him that. That's just what he likes to do. Tyrell Warren is another character altogether. He's a Vidic-esque. He's an absolute nutcase. He is... If the ball was on the other side of a concrete wall, he would 2-foot the wall and get through it to get the ball. The under-18s derby last year, he was a one-man colossus. He's only a little lad. He's maybe 5'9", 5'10". He's got a little bit of growing to do. 17. Quite slight, not very broad, but a leader in the way you've seen Vidic be a leader. He will put his head anywhere. He finds himself on the edge of the box just through sheer aggression, and was having shots in that Manchester derby that we saw last year. One of the best performances I've seen. And then we saw him break into the under-21s a little bit towards the end of the season. I remember being sat with Hilly. You know Hilly from the full-time Devils fan cams. Me and Hilly was sat there and was like, who's that? But it was Warren again. I can't remember who was playing. The team was breaking through the middle. And he was going to ground and he was winning the ball. It's a dangerous tactic, but he was winning it every single time. Unbelievably aggressive, but keeps a lid on it just, so it doesn't really boil over into fisticuffs. It doesn't boil over into him getting red and yellow cards all the time. It's just impressive. So, the opportunity is there for these lads now. If they can go and take it like Marcus Rashford, they will find themselves members of the first team squad. Are they going to be starting games for Manchester United this year? I don't think so. But they are definitely on the verge of first team squad. They're good enough to get minutes. They're good enough to be making appearances in the Europa League or the League Cup. Absolutely. So why not give them an opportunity? And it seems like Jose Mourinho is open to giving these lads an opportunity. So fair play. There's loads of youngsters that I think have got a massive season ahead of them. I think Joe Riley impressed hugely with his cameos in the first team last year. Let's hope we see a bit more of that with Joe Riley. This first game's coming round a little bit quick, isn't it? So I wouldn't expect any of the lads that have been on international duty, which is a lot of our squad, to feature in this game against Wigan. That's why he's talking about the under-21s and the under-18s players going to be playing against Wigan, because them lads have been in training already for about a week now. So them lads are going to be the ones that feature. Is it too early for Angel Gomez? Well, considering he's 15 still until the end of August, I reckon it probably is too early to see him on a pre-season tour. I reckon next year is when you want to be looking at that. But this is another big year for Angel Gomez. First year scholar. Massive things expected. Can't wait to see that. And if you guys want, I'm going to do a predicted 11 for the under-18 side for next year. And give you the strengths and weaknesses and characteristics of all those players. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys want to see. And I'll do a little bit of a player profile and a bio on the ones that I know of. I'm hoping to get to a couple of friendlies this month. I believe there's one on the 22nd, 23rd, a little tournament in Liverpool for the under-18. So I'm definitely going to try and get over there for that and try and get some eyes on some of the new players that we've signed. Hopefully Tahith Chong's one of them. I'm not sure what's going on with his transfer. We told you on Full Time Devils that was happening back in January, and the player says future player for Manchester United, but he's not come over yet. He's not signed yet, so I don't know what the crack is. I don't know if it's like a work permit thing. I don't know what it is. It seems like he's all signed up and he's coming, but no one seems to know when. So I think that'll do for today. Impressed with Mourinho yesterday, even though it was a bit quieter and a bit more subdued than I expected, but he sort of spoke with a confidence and a calmness that he's happy of what's going on at the club at the moment, and that fills me with confidence. So let's see what August will bring, what these pre-season friendlies will bring, and I like the contrast between what United are doing and what City are doing as well, because City have just bent over and puckered their arseholes up for Pep Guardiola, aren't they? And United, I think we're sitting back and going, well, you better fucking impress us, mate. And I think there's going to be an element of that throughout the season. United need to be impressed. City are already impressed with Pep Guardiola, who's not even took a fucking friendly yet for him. This season's going to be a hell of a fucking rollercoaster ride. Not all managers are going to make it to May. Will Pep Guardiola be one of the ones that falls by the wayside? Can you imagine? I'll laugh my dick off. I think Conte is going to be a problem with Chelsea. I've been really impressed with how Italy performed at the Euros. Tactically, I think he's fucking brilliant. That's going to be a problem. Wenger could be one that misses out. I don't know if Arsenal have got the balls to sack him, but they're in for a hell of a season as well. They didn't sign Jamie Vardy, so they signed some random Japanese kid who scores 1 in 6 in the Japanese league. He's going to be prolific in the Premier League, isn't he? Liverpool, not really seeing great strides from them at the moment. If they're going off the same as last season, they're not going to be a threat. At least they might get into the top 6, top 5, but I don't see them doing much more beyond that. I think Leicester are probably going to fall away a little bit. I'd be surprised if Kante manages to see the season out, and Mahrez, to be honest. Interesting that Vardy chose to stay, but we will see. What a season we are looking forward to. I haven't got anything planned for the rest of the week in terms of videos at the moment. Yeah, so we shall see. I did want to go for a hike with a dog, but it's been pissing down every day. I can't go when it's wet. Maybe we'll do that on Friday. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We hit 15,000, which I'm fucking buzzing with. 6 months and 5 days to get to 15,000 subscribers. Blown away. Absolutely blown away. I wanted 20 by Christmas. I think I'll piss 20 by Christmas now. So we need a new goal. 30 by Christmas. Can we do 30k by Christmas? We shall see. Anyway.